Is it recording?
Yeah.
No, bless you.
Oh, yeah, we just cut it out.
Right, it is. It's the
GOAT.
last
It's the GOAT.
I don't know who's on the back door.
Tom Brady.
Guarantee
Tom
you.
Brady, I don't know.
He follows him. I don't follow him.
That's the one. That's like the Ronaldo of it.
I'll say nothing.
Man got the Brady job. I'm telling you, Tazer's coming in next week, bro, with a thing.
I got the black one as well next week. I'm gonna come with the black one.
John Morant thingy.
John Morant.
What you man think of that?
Bro, I don't understand what's going on, bro.
He's an absolute mug.
He's a dumbass, bro.
I actually sat there and I was talking to, who was I talking to? Ayo. We were talking about this the other day.
You know what's
This man's got, he's had like five incidents. At least. You know, when you look at how many things that he's gone through, bro, you're like, he's taking the piss.
I gotta stop, y'all. We enough's enough. Jalen, to you first. My brother, I need you to give yourself a lot of credit. Yes, you've made mistakes in your life, but you didn't know, you weren't forewarned. You lived your life, you made the mistakes, and then ultimately you corrected them, whatever those mistakes may be. John Morant was warned. John Morant was given a pass. Months ago, they let you know 8-game suspensions. Months ago, they let you know $600,000. Months ago, you put your team in jeopardy, the franchise in jeopardy, your future endorsement and opportunities in jeopardy. Months ago, not years ago, months ago. And the NBA called you up to the league office the day you spoke to him. You sat down with Adam Silver and he said, yo, what you doing here? Let's make sure we don't do this again. And here we are in the off season and you're doing that. And here's the crime with all of this. Because Wilbon, I'm going to bring this up. Understand right now, we the villains. You the villain, Jalen. You the villain, Wilbon. I'm the villain. Why? Because we're sitting up there and we're saying, excuse me, be careful. You got a whole future. Your future is yours. The world is yours, man. We're looking out for brothers. We're trying to tell them, listen, watch it. The power of choice is a very, very powerful thing. Make sure you choose carefully who you have around you, who's going to safeguard you, who's going to help you protect you by making sure you avoid the things that you need to avoid. And by us looking out and trying to help out, we're villainized because we are willing to tell you the truth. That's the world he's living in. That's the world a lot of these guys are living in. Because God forbid that somebody tells you the truth so you can shield yourself so you can avoid the kind of things that'll find us on national television talking about you in this way. Second gun.
You waved the gun a second time.
You know what I mean?
Because it was bigger than the first.
Because there was, you know what I mean? The wave the gun.
Instagram Live.
Then he pulled the gun on the kid at the pickup game.
Yeah.
He pulled the gun on
There's no
kid.
video of that though, but yeah.
Yeah, he pulled a gun on a kid at a pickup game, and then I'm not sure what team it was where he's pulled not even a gun, but the infrared beam pointed it at the staff of the other team.
Yeah.
No, but what is it though?
Yeah, but
wait, there's more.
So he's not. All these incidents have happened to him.
Oh, the mic.
I need
to make sure the mic's right. No, you can pull it towards you. Yeah.
He just picked up, I think, a 270 million contract.
He's brother. Yeah, but
I know that. I'm saying, what's his issue? What's
wrong with him?
Because he wants to be gang. He wants to be gang. He's not gang. He reps Crips when he celebrates.
Bro,
he ain't Crips.
I watched the video. Some of the Crips are like, "Yo, what's going on here?"
You're not Crips. He's fake gang, bro. He's not. You know, there's some.
He lost 40 mil. Last, I think this thingy where I was explaining it, like the tiers of basketball players, like, when they get their awards, essentially, so their teams, where they have the 3 teams and then they'll allocate you to whatever.
That's an all-star team.
The all-star team.
Yeah,
and for him, he would have gotten 40 mil off the back of that for the next
year. When you get contracts sometimes, if you get an extension, you have to be like, you have to get hit in a certain amount of points.
Yeah.
They were like, he would have been top tier if he wasn't
all-star team, whatever.
Yeah.
If you don't make the criteria, then your contract, it ducks like.
I like that.
So they were like, for him, he made all the criteria, but no one would vote for him because of all the gun shit. So he's lost money.
Yeah, but my only thing is I'm on a wall with it a bit.
What wall is there, bro?
When we talked about this yesterday, one of the things that I mentioned was we weren't privy to the conversations when he was first suspended. We didn't know if they had discussed another infraction, what the penalty would be. And it seems pretty clear from that conversation between Adam and Malika that actually wasn't discussed. It wasn't discussed if there was another incident. And I'll say this again, in both these gun waving incidents on IG Live, there has been no law that's been broken, as far as we know. Colorado police investigated, no law was broken. Assuming this is in Tennessee, open carry allowed in that state, assuming he has a permit, for whatever it may be, no law has been broken. The reason I bring that up, it is very clear in our CBA what happens if you fail a drug test for performance-enhancing drugs or a street drug, a narcotic. It's very clear. It's this amount of games. It's very clear if you get a certain amount of technicals or a certain amount of flagrants, how much you're going to be suspended. And so that's where I think a 40-game suspension, the precedence for that, for not breaking a law. Again, we can go into the backstory of the incident with the teenager, Jaws claiming self-defense, that the teenager threw the ball in his face. We can go into the incident at the mall when he yelled at a security guard. We can go into the incident with the Indiana Pacers traveling party. As far as we know, all of these things have been investigated and no law has been broken. I'm not condoning the behavior. I'm not saying there should be no punishment. There should be. There should be consequences. You are the face of the league. You are representing the NBA. You are a role model to young kids. All of that. I don't think half a season is the right answer. And the last point I want to make, because you bring this up, the guns on social media. We talk about consequences. Look, in our country right now, gun culture is pervasive. It's pervasive. We've got mass shooting after mass shooting, and nobody's doing a damn thing about it. So I get why we're so sensitive to this right now. But there's no consequence for Greg Abbott telling his constituents that they should go buy more guns, and then we have mass shooting after mass shooting in Texas. There's no consequence for an elected Tennessee official to send out a Christmas card holding AR-15s with his young family, and then there's a shooting in his very district. There's no consequences to that. So why are we trying to lay down the hammer on a 23-year-old who didn't break a law? Explain that to me.
No, the reason I'm on the wall is because like we're looking at it from the outside, like in terms of from the UK, but in terms of America, you have a right to bear arms. It's not against the law, bro. You can have a gun on you.
Let me
finish, bro. Let me finish.
Okay.
Like you got a right to bear arms in America, in that state, yeah. Open carry, you can have a gun. So if John Morant was a member of the public and he had a gun on him, no one would say nothing. It's not against the law. But I'm just saying, but it's not against the law. So what I'm trying to say to you is, if he's hit someone with it or he's pulled out on someone, cool, I'd say yeah. But my thing is, at the end of the day, it's like guns are legal in America.
Mm-hmm. Facts.
It's part of the Constitution. Like it's your amendment, innit? To have one, yeah.
Can I interject?
So if he has a gun on him, like I get he's an NBA star and they want the NBA to be clean, but technically speaking, he hasn't broken the law.
He's broken the rules. There's difference between the law and the rules.
No, the rule is you can't have a gun on NBA grounds. He's not on NBA grounds.
Okay, when I say he's broken, he
didn't in his car.
Firstly, he had a gun on NBA grounds.
No, they couldn't prove it.
They couldn't find it. But he had it on NBA grounds first time. And with this time, it's like, cool. You've gotten a new lease on life, essentially. Cool. So and when you look at, NBA teams, when you look at sponsors and stuff like that, a lot of them have what they would call morality clauses. You know what I mean? There's a certain standard you have to live by. So when you sign those contracts, you agree to, to certain standard of whatever. He's listening to, if you listen to the music he was listening to, firstly, killer nigga music, firstly, and he was waving a gun. So those two things at the same time, it's like, brother, he was, it's one of those things where those brands, it doesn't look good.
When
he is 200 million. You're telling me, you know what I mean? Man have spent 200 mil or willing to spend 200 mil on you, and you can't not wave a gun around in front of a camera.
I hear you, but you're spending 200 million on me.
But I think when you're a black man,
on you, like, I'm the basketball player, like, I'm the franchise player. Do you know what I'm saying?
You got to tread careful when you're a black man, though.
Yeah,
you got to tread extra careful.
And that's my thing as well.
What white players do we know that are waving guns around?
Yeah, but the funny thing, if a white player had a gun,
then we wouldn't know because they're not doing it. Brother, we can't. There's no ifs. We can't do those ifs. If a white player, they're not waving guns around.
You have to look at the factors here. For example, the first time he got caught with a gun, he might be on NBA property.
He's on the sixth incident.
Wait one sec, bro. He might be on NBA grounds. So when you're on NBA grounds, if you bring a gun, it could be like a mad 300-day suspension. That's what everyone was saying at the beginning. That might be a madness. Yeah. But they couldn't prove he had the gun on the ground, so they allowed it. But I'm saying, all right, I'm looking at it like this, isn't it? As because remember, in the UK, knives and guns are not legal. So if a man's got a gun in the video, we know already. What's man doing? Is he mad? That's like you having a gun in your video. It's mad. Like from the jump, we're like, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas imagine like you're allowed to have, everyone's walking on the road, they can have a gun on them.
Mm-hmm.
You get caught in a video with a gun in your video. It's like, I hear you as an artist, you shouldn't do it, but if it's legal and there's an amendment, and also remember, it's off season. It's not during the...
But for this time as well,
like the way he's waving it.
Yeah,
and
it's not like he's holding it.
Yeah.
And he's already come out, apologized, done the rehab thing for his behaviour, and then done the same thing.
That's because I think it was during season, it was apparently NBA grounds, like, there was a speculation of it. Because it's off season.
Let me flip the scenario here.
Yeah.
You're an NBA player, and you're single. Technically, you can do what you want. If there's a video out there of you being around big gal, and people are going to look at you a certain way, even though you're allowed to.
But Harden does it all the time. He's at strip clubs.
No, but going to a strip club is different because Bear Man goes, no, it's not the same. I'm not talking about that because at the end of the day, like you said, you're allowed to carry guns. We're not saying there's an issue with him carrying guns.
But you said the issue being around single ladies, but man is in strip club throwing bear money.
No, but that's part of the culture. Though.
So's guns.
But we're talking about the way he has it. It's not like he's just walking around with it and it's on his waist. He's waving it in a car. Like, I just don't understand why he's doing that.
I hear what you're saying, but there was no threat.
It's not about that.
I don't think it's about the threat. You know what? He's threatened other NBA players as well. There was one incident.
That's what I was going to play because this is what I was looking for. Because Ayo listed some of the incidents. Sorry, we'll do it after.
Fam, it's like 4 major incidents. One, in like a pickup game, he beat the brakes out of a 17-year-old and threatened to kill him.
Yeah.
17-year-old.
Another time, he pulled up with burners to shopping mall because his mum said she got into it with one of the security guards and said that they'll clap him. Third incident, man was dancing on IG. No, third incident, there was passer, like trash talking between him and the team called the Pacers. As he was leaving the stadium, him and his boys, they pointed infrared beams at some Pacers staff members.
There was no evidence though. They couldn't get evidence for that.
5 or 4, I don't know where I am. My man obviously danced with their gun in the club, and then now this.
It's not looking good, bro.
He's using man. They couldn't get evidence.
But my thing is,
all I'm saying is,
no, it looks bad.
If that infrared beam was an isolated incident,
100%.
All I'm saying,
but there's bare things. It's like, what's going on?
My thing is, why does a $200 million man
want to do this?
why do you want to be bad?